Alright, here we go. SPYRAL. Game 1. Let's see this hand we got here. We got an Ash Blossom, the Yome, the Pancreatips, the Resort, and the Forbidden Draft. Alright. Now, Jack, you know SPYRAL. Is this a good hand or is this a bad hand?
It's pretty decent. I like it just because it's the fact of we have our field spell in hand. We had a interrupt. A danger is always cool to see. I'm like we have a really good resource hand. And with that, I did not want to see. I mean,
The 4-card set or the terraforming? Oh, the terraforming that we drew.
Both of those, yes.
Yeah, yes and yes. Okay, so we have quick fix here. Oh, what the?
That doesn't matter because we changed our hand.
Oh, we're playing freaking what is it? Trickstar Burn.
Trickstar Burn.
Trickstar Burn. It is a thing. All right, so is there like what we got? What we got here? Like what are we working with? So SPYRAL wise.
So right now we are. So we used our drone. The fact that the replay doesn't really show it well, but we chose monster. Basically, we chose to put what card to put on top. That's kind of how SPYRALs work. As you can see right here, also.
Yeah. So we used drone.
We were able to look at the top 3 cards of his deck, put them in the order. So I knew it was going to be on the top. So when we did use our agent and stuff, other stuff like that here,
yep,
we know what cards to call, and that's pretty important when playing SPYRALs. Is you want to try to know what's on the top of the deck.
So you want to have the right card on the top of the deck at all times.
Right, you always want to have right knowledge. Monster is probably the safest one to always go for. You may not get it right all the time, but if you want to make one that's decent, that would be monster.
I gotcha. And then so quick fix. This is what we were gonna play. It's special summon. If it's special summon or normal summon, you can grab a SPYRAL Gear card from the deck, put it into the hand. If it is in the graveyard, you could play Super Agent and discard this card and special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay. So I'm assuming that's how we got it. That's how we got it back to the field, was because we have quote unquote Super Agent on the field.
We got it back because of our Link Monster's ability. We called the card. We got it right. We're gonna get a SPYRAL card from the graveyard or from the deck, and that's what got us our quick fix.
Okay. And then quick fix is what led us into the
gear here, which is going to summon another card from the graveyard.
Okay. So now we're caught up. Which we're bringing back the Super Agent.
Which we're using to pop one on the field here.
Jesus.
Happens to be just desserts, so we're getting more burn.
Yeah. You don't like that. I don't like burn decks, man. It gives me a little PTSD. Oh, and then they just straight surrender. All right, let's see what we got in hand. Oh, let me grab Paul that real quick. So we do have quick fix in hand, Ash Blossom, Nessie, and we have Small World along with the SPYRAL Mission Rescue. Okay.
Rescue.
So before I continue on, so the whole purpose of this deck is to get your agent cards onto the field and allowing that to know what's on top of your opponent's deck.
To activate your other SPYRAL cards. Okay.
And then what, you added the danger cards in there for the extra deck plays then, or?
It's kind of both. So we want to be able to get SPYRALs into our grave, on top of the fact that the dangers do have other effects if they hit themselves. So the ones that we play do give us some RNG goodness,
right?
Even if they hit themselves.
Hey, blue eyes. Okay, yeah, so that's why you're running Nessie. Was it Nessie, Jackalope, and Susanoko?
Yep.
Ooh, they're running the freaking Chaos Max Dragon like every other Blue Eyes player. Jesus.
They don't have Max Dragon.
Chaos Max Dragon.
Small World. We're gonna banish one to get one.
Master Plan, bringing out Quick Fix, which grabs us the SPYRAL Gear. Ooh, good play on the Jackalope.
We had to go for it. This is all it is. Sometimes you just gotta go for it.
Yeah, I say it was a good play on the Jackalope, for sure. See, you know, like when you have that less chance, like that less of a risk with dangers, it's always nice.
Now we're going pop. So now we're popping one with Cerberus. We discard our trap card chained to bring a SPYRAL monster from the graveyard. Since plan was special summon. We got to search for another rescue, and that is what we did.
Yeah, and then now Big Red is what?
It's going to bring back one from the graveyard.
Okay, and then we're grabbing Quick Fix. Quick Fix
Fix is not
activates.
once per turn.
Oh, Quick Fix isn't one. Oh.
Yeah, Quick Fix is not once per turn. Our field spell is not once per turn.
Underworld Goddess.
This was really good.
Okay.
Knowing they have Max Dragon, so we're pushing for a game. Our goal, as soon as we saw that, is we push for a game.
Yeah, because right there's Max.
And we called it right by luck. That's why I said always choose monster cards, because you have a higher chance.
Yeah. You don't rely on luck. You make your own luck.
God is my witness, I hope so.
Yeah, with this deck, you do. Now, do you like what if you do, you know, accidentally call something? Does that like really does that stop your chain? Like if you misclick or whatnot?
Yeah, somewhat. If you want to pause it right here.
Yep.
It depends on how many cards you can activate in your hand or like spiral effects. That's what matters depending. So like if you have 2 cards that can activate, and so what you want to do is that you want to choose the one that you know is like if it fails you're like all right, it's whatever. But because you have 2 cards that can activate like that, you would choose your one as like the random. So it's like I call a monster, it's a spell. But now my other one can still activate, and I know it's a spell.
Okay.
So I still have that information, which could potentially continue on, just depending on how many effects you still have left.
Gotcha, okay. Well, that's good to know. Alright, and there you have it. That is the Spiral deck. Honestly, there was cards in those replays we didn't see. How does Magician of Soul, like how does Magician Souls work into the mix?
Fantastically. Honestly, this deck, I'm really surprised I didn't see it once the whole game, in any of the games. But this is really good. This is kind of the reason why we built Dark Magicians the other time, is because we were fetching for this card, and it took me about a while to get this card. So because of that, that's what really made me to do Dark Magicians. But the reason this card's really good in this type of style deck is because to special summon it, we have to send a card. I think we get to. It's basically like an extender. It's basically like a really good extending play, like a really good first turn.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. If you haven't yet, make sure you like the video, comment down below, and hey, subscribe. It's free, helps us out. You guys get notified when we upload all of the juiciest content to the YouTube. And that's it for now. We'll see you next week. Peace!